Hey y'all, it's Friday. I think it's the 17th. I have to go to CVS and then I have to go over to the UPS store. And then I have to go to Lowe's. Those of you who know me will understand when I say I miss Teddy. A little while ago I was out in the yard and it's been one of those days where I just touch something and then that leads to something else. Well, that's kind of usually the way they go. But sometimes I'm lucky enough to get hyper-focused. Now, those 2 pots of succulents that Jerry brought home, yeah, I was hyper-focused on those babies. Anyway, I was out in the yard a while ago and I was all ready to go and I went out there to get Lily. And I started talking to her like she was Teddy. We got to go to Lowe's in a few minutes. Are you getting tired of going there? I know I only had him for 3 months. In fact, it was almost 3 months to the day. And I know a lot of people just don't understand why I had to let him go. But I did. He's already been adopted. Now, that is a good thing. But I wish that I could know whether they did a full disclosure to the new family. Now, I was so clear and plain with Dana, the volunteer, about I had him for 3 months. I knew him. He needs to be, I'm sorry, y'all, I moved some stuff around back there and I put a little flat dolly back there. But anyway, he needs to be the only pet, unless it's a bird or a reptile. And then, don't let Toby see you petting either one of them or talking to them. You know, I told y'all whenever I would call Lily, he would come running. And if I tried to pet Lily, I mean, he would force his way in between us and I would have to move him back. Anyway, I am so hoping, and I just prayed so hard that God would send the absolute best last home for Teddy. You know, the morning that Dana came to pick him up, I gave him a good bath and a haircut, and that wasn't easy. We did it in the bathroom. I know that with a little more, if he hadn't been going somewhere, then I would not have done the whole groom at one time. But he was getting better. I was able to do some on his feet. But when I got up that morning and I let him out to go potty, and then he came back in, and I fed both of them, and when he got through eating, he came back in there, and I always let him up on the bed in the morning. And sometimes Lily would get brave enough, and he would lay down at the foot of my bed facing the door so he could see Lily if she came in. And y'all, what did I do with my nail file? I was trying to file some rough edges. Good heavens. Anyway, so he came and he got in bed with me, and we finally had to get up. I had some last minute things to do, and this was before his bath. It was after they ate, but I walked out into the hallway and stepped into a puddle of urine right by Lily's litter box, which was clean, by the way, which stays clean now because she loves to go out there to Teddy's bathroom, which is fine with me. I can clean it up out there just as easy, and it saves on kitty litter. And I had been going back and forth and back and forth. Lord, can I do this? Can I make this little guy wear those belly bands all the time? He hated it, y'all. He felt like I was punishing him. He would just look at me, and he would just stand totally still for a long time. I don't know, maybe he would have gotten used to him. I don't know. Do I think that he and I would have bonded if it had just been the two of us? I do. He was the sweetest, most loving little thing. If you take the peeing in the house out of the equation, the only bad habit he had was licking you. Now, I have never let my dogs lick me. They lick everything. But that's the only, he was such a good boy, and he just wanted to be hugged and loved and squeezed on, and he wanted to be your one and only. And so, y'all, I would call and I would try to get them to tell me, but they never tell you anything. They don't ever tell you anything. And I have found through some other people who've adopted from foster homes. Now, see, I don't believe they ever had Teddy in a foster home. He was there at, I call it the facility, but he was there at the home. And when they are, there's not much that they can learn about them because there's so many there. Now, they can figure out pretty quick if a dog is a biter, if he's aggressive with other dogs, things like that. But you don't know whether they're potty trained or, a big barker. They all kind of bark. But I've had some people tell me, oh yeah, they'll lie to you. They're just trying to get homes for these animals. And I am not not saying that Frosted Faces would do that. I was so adamant with Dana. Make sure they know he needs to be the only pet. Make sure they know that he has a history of marking, which I believe with all my heart that if he went to a home and he was the only pet and they took him out and they taught him where his potty was, or bush in the case of the cottage, he wouldn't do that. Now, most of the time, if I took him out to pee, he wanted me to stay there with him. So I did. Or if I was on the patio, I could send him down and he would get about halfway and he'd stop and turn around to see if I was still there. Separation anxiety. But I hope and pray with my heart that this is going to be Teddy's last home. And like I said, that morning that Dana was coming to pick him up, I was going back and forth. Should I just keep him? Can I deal with the belly bands all the time? Can he learn that they're not punishment? When I put them on him, I always petted him and looked at him in the face and rubbed his little ears so he would know it's okay. And I would tell him that. It's okay, Teddy. And so I didn't wear them on him 24/7. So a lot of times when he marked in the house, it was my fault because I didn't shut both the doors when we were outside. I didn't always know exactly where he was. A lot of times he liked to stay under the stairs, to be cooler, and his water was right there. So he would go in the house and I wouldn't know it. But anyway, those of y'all who know me, understand me, you get the thing about not bonding. Do I care about him? Of course I do. You could not help but care about that little guy. You couldn't. But anyway, you know what? I don't know why I just made this video. I guess it's still so fresh. When Dana came to get him, we put all his stuff in the car, and so I just handed her the leash through the fence. He went out with her, and then I bent down and I was talking to Teddy, and so she said, well, I'm going to take him for a quick little walk, so if he had to pee. And she came back and she put him in her car, and I was on the couch in the window, and he was looking out the passenger side window. I don't know if he could see me or not, but it broke my heart. I wanted to run out and tell her, no, don't take him. But it seems like every time I second guess myself, it's the wrong thing for me to do. So I hope y'all, I pray, please pray for him that this home is awesome. I did tell Dana, I said, I can totally see him with a sweet little girl. I totally can envision him sitting on the floor next to a little girl who's looking at a book, and she's petting him with her other hand, and him up on her bed sleeping with her and going everywhere with her. I think that would be his perfect home. Dana said she would try to find out, but I was so upset when she was leaving. I was trying not to cry, but I couldn't help it. And I am not, please do not think this, I am not saying, oh, Dana's a liar. But have you ever told a little lie to keep from breaking somebody's heart? Have you ever done that? I have. I most definitely have. But anyway, he adjusts so quickly. I mean, he had no apprehension, and Terry and Mariah were there, and Lily was there. He just walked in like, hello, y'all. Back up, because I'm here. And I mean, he just is like that. And I don't think he's going to have a hard time at all adjusting to a new family. It broke my heart thinking that he was thinking, why did that woman send me away? I can't think about that, though. I can't think about that. I have to envision him in the sweetest, best home. And the marking problems, they're not a problem anymore, unless it's outside. But he adjusts so well. Do I think that Dana might tell me a white lie about the new family? I think she might. She's a big-hearted lady. I really liked her. But anyway, y'all, that's it. And I won't make any more, videos about little Teddy. But just know this, I will always think about him, care about him, and pray for him. I definitely will. Anyway, I've got to go into the pharmacy, and then I've got to go over here, and then I have to go to Lowe's. And it's 2 o'clock. I told Jerry, I said, oh, tomorrow, because I was going to go yesterday. And I waited too late. And by this time in the day, my back starts hurting, and it's hard for me to walk. And so I really haven't done anything, strenuous or heavy or repetitive or whatever. I've just kind of been floating around from thing to thing. So I'll be fine, but I sure did want to get out a lot earlier. So anyway, I am in the magic van, and she makes me talk. She does. So this is not the only video. I have to be careful of this shirt, y'all, because if I bend down, it's not good. So I have to be very careful, but it is so comfortable. I wish I had one in every color that I liked. But anyway, I love y'all. Do something fun. Make yourself happy. Tell me what you do to make yourself happy. I do. Talk to y'all later. Bye now.